Statistics say that every year London has 40 nights of fog.
And who will they murder tonight, I wonder?
Every morning, the police discover a new victim.
Who's the dead man?
The crime wave continues, and Scotland Yard combs the harbor in search of the madman. Where is he? Who is he?
A gang calls itself that because they pull their crimes in the middle of the night.
Watch it, it's hot. Very hot.
Fear reigns. Danger lurks everywhere. And the police are powerless. Terror grips another victim. And another. And still another.
bin ich ja stets lustig, heißer Hopsasa, ich Vogelfänger bin bekannt, bei alt und jung im ganzen Land. Weiß mit dem Locken umzugehen und mich aufs Pfeifen zu verstehen. Drum kann ich froh und lustig sein, denn alle Vögel sind ja mein. Ein Mädchen vor der Wagen wünscht Papageno sie. Oh, so ein sanftes Täubchen wär Seligkeit für mich, wär Seligkeit für mich, wär Seligkeit für mich. Dann schmeckte mir Trinken und Essen, dann könnt ich mit Fürsten mich messen. des Lebens als Weiser mich freuen und wie im Elysium sein. Dann könnt ich mit Fürsten mich messen, des Lebens als Weiser mich freuen und wie im Elysium sein. Im Elysium sein, im Elysium sein. Papagena, Papagena, Papagena. Weibchen, Weibchen, meine Schöne, vergebens. Ach, sie ist verloren, ich bin zum Unglück schon geboren. Sie ist umsonst, es ist vergebens, müde bin ich meines Lebens. Papageno, frisch hinauf, ende deinen Lebenslauf. Nun, ich warte noch, es sei, ich warte noch. Nun, es sei, wie es man zählet, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nun wohlan, es bleibt dabei. Nun wohlan, es bleibt dabei, weil mich nichts zurückhält. Gute Nacht, du falsche Welt. Gute Nacht, du falsche Welt. Ihr habt gut reden, habt gut scherzen, doch brennt es euch wie mich im Herzen. Ihr würdet auch nach Mädchen gehen, ihr würdet auch nach Mädchen gehen.
Du wirst deine Mädchen bringen, die dunklen Mädchen zu mir bringen.
Ich narr vergaß der Zauberdinge, ich narr vergaß der Zauberdinge. Erklinge Glockenspieler, erklinge, ich muss mein liebes Mädchen sehen, ich muss mein liebes Mädchen sehen. Mädchen her. Klinget, Glöckchen, klinget, bringt mein Weibchen her. Bringt sie her, mein Mädchen her, mein Weibchen her. Papagena, bist du mir nun ganz gegeben?
Bin ich dir ganz ergeben?
Nun so sei mein liebes Weibchen,
Nur so sei mein Herzenszeugchen,
mein liebes Weibchen, mein liebes Weibchen. Welche Freude wird das sein,
Welcher Freude wird das sein,
wenn die Götter uns bedenken,
wenn die Götter uns bedenken,
unserer liebe Kinder schenken, unserer liebe Kinder schenken, so liebe kleine Kinderlein, 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 so liebe kleine Kinderlein, so liebe kleine Kinderlein. Erst eine kleine Blut, dann wieder einen Papageno, 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 Papageno.
Es ist das Höchste der Gefühle.
Es ist das Höchste der Gefühle. Wenn viele Papageno, 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 der Eltern Segen werden sein. Papageno, 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 der Eltern Segen werden sein. Papageno, 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 der Eltern Segen werden sein. Der Eltern Segen werden sein. Der Eltern Segen werden sein. Papageno, 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 Papageno.
Instruments of torture are always much the same wherever one goes. Our ancestors had imaginations that were truly diabolical. The Virgin of Nuremberg, the most efficacious instrument of torture. The most desirable woman. Terrible punisher of the Virgin of Nuremberg. Mein Herr! Mein Herr!
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friend, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening.
How we doing tonight, Evan?
We are good. It is Friday night. I got a palm full of limes. We got a
Ooh.
movie on deck.
A palmful, a whole
palmful. I'm about to have 2 palmfuls.
2 palmfuls of limes, Evan? That's a lot of limes. Now, are you cutting these thin or thick?
I'm just kind of in half because I'm more interested in the juice.
So you're a thick. Oh well. Mhm.
But if you want to slice, if you want a little...
No, I'll save it. I need to save my palate for what's going to be coming later.
Okay.
But good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Scream Stream. Hope everybody's doing well on this Friday night. We're here. You made it. It's Friday. So, and here we are celebrating, as always, with some public domain horror. And we are, it's officially summer, and we are in the thick of it with the Summer of Schlock Returns. We are on our 3rd episode of the summer, and so far I'm feeling the summer. I'm wearing a tank top tonight, as you can see. It's themed still, but
Wolfman.
It's Wolfman, but we're feeling those summer.
This isn't a Wolfman movie.
It's not.
Or is it?
But we will debate later on what kind of man is in this film.
Okay.
But
there's your first little teaser for tonight.
I would say the look owes like some inspiration to this makeup right here on my shirt. So we got a nice little creature feature for I think it's our first one of this. Yeah, last week and I don't know, episode 1, Beast of Yucca Flats, if you called Tor Johnson's character a creature.
I don't feel like I want to call him a creature. That always feels mean. He's he's a victim.
Right, just a radiated mutant, really upset with all his radiation burns and, running around causing a ruckus in the desert. So, yeah, he's a little more man than all-out creature, but we've got a mix of it tonight. So that's what we've got, a full-on creature feature. So it's very exciting because tonight we're going to be watching the 1960 horror film Horrors of Spider Island. Ooh.
Multiple.
Yes. Yeah, look out. Yeah, there are.
This isn't just one.
It's not just one. Multiple. There really are multiple, actually. So that's what we're in store at least for that. But this is interesting because it is an international horror film. It comes out of West Germany. And
hence our cartoon.
Hence the cartoon, which got us pulled off YouTube. So hopefully I'll be able to make that go away. We'll see. We're still on Twitch. Here we are. You gotta love we have a back. We got a backup. We don't have to cancel the show.
Plan B.
We do have a plan B. But so this is again West Germany. If you don't know what we're about to get into the whole history.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give
welcome to history class.
I'm going to try to refrain from giving a entire history lesson, but I definitely have some film history to go into tonight.
It all started when an archduke had a very bad day.
Well, I'm gonna have to turn it over to Evan to really get into the weeds because Evan's certainly got a better grasp on that than I do. I only know movie stuff. I can't history. That's the only way I got through history class. Is just what movie? What the year? That's when which came out? It's my
movie history.
Frame of reference for everything is old horror movies. So. Yeah, but it's interesting. It's a West German creature feature, so it'll be fun. And of course, as always, Evan brings us a delicious cocktail to pair with the evening's film in a little segment which this season we're calling
It's Schlocktail Hour.
And what are we going to be drinking for this hour of Schlock, Evan?
So this week, this season, we're doing all originals. That's how Schlocktail Hour, the summer of Schlock, that's how this is going down. And So whenever I approached this week, I thought, okay, we're going to Spider Island. So what can I think of island? And my first thought was, of course, Long Island iced tea.
Naturally.
So that, like, you know, that's already an existing recipe. So I thought we might need to, like, really tweak it to, like, really call it an original, you know, for me to feel comfortable calling it an original. So
Right.
This is kind of a variation. It's a variation on the Long Island iced tea. This week's drink is called Spider Island iced tea. And it's I've swapped out about half of the ingredients. You know, Long Island iced tea is like, it's a pretty involved, like there's a lot of ingredients there. And I've been kind of, you know, meditating just on that recipe this week, because whenever I look at it now, it almost feels like they were just like joking when they came up with it. This, like, it's 5 liquors, sour mix, and a splash of Coca-Cola. It just feels like a joke to me.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it is.
But it works. Like, they're good. How do you feel about the Long Island iced tea?
I've always enjoyed the Long Island iced tea. You know, it's a good way to really get your, you know, if you want one drink to get you feeling good.
Yeah, this is your you know, evening, your night out, your dinner drink.
Yeah. And it's you know, it's funny because you wouldn't necessarily think that all those liquors mixed together would be, you know.
You wouldn't think it would work as well as it does.
It does.
But you know, I think it's maybe because, like, all of so it's like, what is it? It's tequila, vodka, rum, gin, and triple sec. And all of those, like, those are pretty, you know, they're on the milder side, I would say. Probably the craziest thing in their, like, flavor profile wise would be, like, maybe the gin.
Right. Yeah. That's true. Although, you know, I mean, it kind of, with a little bit of a citrusy.
Yeah, definitely
angle
citrusy.
That works,
it's got the
right?
like the lemon and the sugar and the little bit of cola. So like what I've done and what I've been assembling, I've been working on this like for the past 10 minutes. I kind of get why bartenders hate making these now. What we have tonight is, you know, this is Spider Island, and I'm trying to, you know, for me to feel comfortable calling this an original, a schlock tale, if you will. It needed some kind of angle, and we were doing spiders. I wanted to do the most poisonous thing I could come up with.
Right.
So this one's got absinthe. The recipe here is absinthe, vodka, rum, raspberry liqueur, gin, lime juice, simple syrup, and cherry cola.
It's definitely gonna put a little bit of a sting into it, I think.
Yeah.
You know, absinthe is like, when we have had absinthe cocktails on this show before, or I should say cocktails with absinthe, you know, you can always, it always rises to the top, right? Like it's just immediately noticeable, no matter, even if it's just a small amount. So I appreciate
it feels the most like a poisonous spirit to me, too. Like, to me, absinthe feels like the kind of thing that you have to go to an apothecary to buy, and like this, it only comes in like a little vial with skull and crossbones on it.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely one of those, like, it's always felt dangerous to me because you always hear horror stories about it. But now, you know, obviously there's different, like the real absinthe and then what you can go buy in a store.
Stuff that we get.
So it's a little, but it still just has such a reputation.
This is really full.
God.
Sorry, I had to really squeeze
I love it.
cola in.
It's great. It's.
And if you need an extra splash of cola, let me know. But
I will let you know.
Doing my best
Oh
not
wait,
to spill
sorry.
this.
I was about to just go for it.
Yeah. So I'm raising this up
Impatient.
about as high as I comfortably can. Not gonna spill it. This is the Spider Island iced tea. Everybody, cheers.
Cheers.
Wow. Ooh. It's a punchy, that's a really punchy,
punchy's a good word.
That is a poisonous Long Island iced tea. That is exactly what I was going for.
Yeah, the absinthe definitely works as like a venom
Yeah.
for sure. I
got
already
a bite.
feel it coursing through my veins.
I've been bit.
I've got the bug. Nah, it's not bad. It's as predicted, the absinthe just kind of rises to the top.
It cuts
I
through,
appreciate what
always.
it brings to the cocktail, but it's just it's always
There's so many flavors in that
right.
I don't really mind. The absinthe doesn't swallow the whole thing.
Right. No, it doesn't. No, you like, again, even before I got the absinthe, I just kind of got a little bit of a sting of the liquor, It's like, okay, this is strong. Like, I definitely, and then that's when the absinthe came in and all kind of smoothed out a little bit, and it wasn't.
I add a little more cherry coke to mine.
Stinging. Oh, you just did?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
A little more. Pop up.
You know, a little. Oh well,
Here,
I guess let me take a bigger sip.
Take a little sip.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, sir.
It does look like tea.
It does actually.
I was hoping it would look more green. Like I want it to look more like.
I
poison.
thought it would. Or for a second I thought it did, and I was like, no, it's brown.
Yeah,
but
it looks like tea.
So on that second sip, I like moved my straw more from the bottom to like the middle, and I got like a different. I got more of like a citrusy.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. It's got layers. It's a complex.
It's like a lasagna
cocktail. It is like that's what you've done tonight, Evan. You have made a lasagna cocktail. Cocktail lasagna.
Delicious.
Whatever you want to call it, and it was delicious. So very well done. I think it's going to be perfect to enjoy.
There's plenty to sip on there.
We're like, as Evan said earlier tonight, we're on Spider Island time. So these cocktails were made for Spider Island.
It's summer.
Time. It is summer, so we're gonna enjoy it. And one thing, I'm gonna try. Hey, while we're here, I'm just gonna try to go ahead and submit an appeal just while we're going with it, just so everybody knows the process. Like, this happens.
All right.
Usually I do it off the show. So as we get into the movie and we're talking about it, I'm gonna be simultaneously getting my ducks in a row. And then I'll kind of keep you informed as we go along. But if I look distracted, it's because I'm like, you know what? I'm doing this now, and I'm gonna get this done. Okay, so anyway, so cocktail, perfect for Horrors of Spider Island. And like I said earlier, this is a West German production, and it is the version that we're watching tonight is the American release print, so it is dubbed. And this movie has a cult reputation because of how bad the dubbing is.
Oh no.
So much so that one of the most popular episodes of Mystery Science Theater is the episode that they did where they went.
Spider Island.
They did, and they savaged the movie, and apparently it is a fan favorite, and it really raised the profile of this movie. But again, this movie actually has an interesting history. There are different release versions. It comes at a interesting time in German cinema, which we'll kind of get into. And I mean, think about it. On this show, we've seen 5 German films. I don't know if you knew that.
I know we've seen a few, yeah.
The interesting thing about them is they're all silent. So it's it's a little bit more, you know, like a whole different kind of filmmaking, you know, what we're going to get tonight versus the films that we've seen out of Germany so far. Obviously different trends in cinema going on. I think all the one, so Caligari, Gollum, Nosferatu, Metropolis. So 4.
All pretty iconic films.
Yeah. Well, and all, like, I guess less so Metropolis, but the other ones are all German expressionists, right? So that's kind of like the interesting thing about, like, you know, how influential those movies were, right? The German expressionist films, like we still talk about them today, but then obviously shortly after that period of filmmaking in Germany, you had the rise of Hitler and the Nazi Party, and the films that came out basically from like 33 to 45 are controversial to say the least.
What did Hitler think about silent movies?
You know,
what did he think about the Golem?
I don't think that he liked some of them. I feel like there were some that were banned in Germany, and of course I should have that fact for you, but I don't. But I'm sure that Hitler, Goebbels, or somebody disapproved of some of those German expressionist horror films. But we've you know, it's kind of the wild thing about, like, just the way that you don't really hear about those films at all. Like, or if you do, it's, you know, like there was a version of Titanic that was made under the Nazi, like in the 40s. And so it's more like German Nazi propaganda, but it's the Titanic story, right? So that's what you kind of got.
The iceberg represents democracy.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like we saw in the Disney cartoon, right? Democracy is an ugly witch trying to, you know, keep the damsel away from the hero, Hitler. So
I bet that witch sells absinthe.
Oh, for sure. You know she does. That's what she's brewing up in her cauldron just off screen. She's got a whole cauldron of brewing. So I'm you know, I'm excited for this. I haven't seen it, obviously. And the other interesting thing about the dubbing job here is that, like, well, and just the story in general, and just the whole weirdness of what these, so German productions in the 50s, 60s out of like West Germany, they're very often co-productions, or they were movies that they knew they'd get released internationally, right? So they try to tailor the story toward a more international crowd, right? So tonight's film is produced by a West German production company made by a West German crew, but the characters in the story, I believe, are supposed to be American.
Is it set in America?
So they get stranded in an island that I believe is supposed to be near South America or Guatemala, somewhere.
Okay, they're in the Bermuda Triangle.
Right, but they actually filmed this on a beach in Yugoslavia. So this is the prime example of what a foreign, like, especially a film from West Germany is like at the time. It's this hodgepodge of like international elements to try to like kind of appeal to a broader audience and not just the home country. Of course, there were plenty of movies that did just cater, they just were intended for the national like release, and you know, didn't have aspirations for, you know, being released on an international scale. But a lot of movies out of West Germany did. So we'll be talking about that tonight. You know, it's just gonna be kind of ridiculous. And so basically the story, just to kind of give you a very short rundown, it's models, like a, you know, bunch of beautiful models and like one guy that gets stranded on this island where there are creatures. So that's it. That's the log line for you. There it is.
What did the director cast himself as that guy?
No, he would have been, that would have been something. No, they got a, so it was the other thing about if you could get a name actor, even if they weren't like a huge name, in these West German films especially, they'd get somebody, that maybe had been a lead back in the day, but hadn't done anything big at the time. So tonight they've got a guy named Alexander Darcy, and
Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about him. He's an interesting character. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for this. It's new to me, so I'm hoping that it's as weird and wild looking as the things that I've seen from it. So, without spoiling it. Anything before we get into it tonight, Evan?
So, you keep saying West Germany?
Yeah.
Where's I thought it was West.
I'm sorry, I spelled that wrong on my sheet. You're right, Evan. It is West Germany.
Oh, I've only ever seen that word written.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. Once you pronounce it, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Is that how you say it? Yeah. So I'm finishing this up right now. Let me just
submit that appeal.
Let me. What is it? Copyright. I have to remember what the style guide is called. Copyright term in the public domain. In the public. All right. And this is almost in. I just have to change one more thing. But yeah.
So I'm also learning what it looks like for Garrett to submit an appeal on behalf of our show.
It's done. And so, the other thing I'm interested tonight, like obviously, like I said, this is dubbed, but we'll have at least one trailer later on that is in German.
Okay.
And Evan, if our audience doesn't know, Evan has been trying to learn German. So
I've been taking a Duolingo course.
He has. Do you guys want me to? Do you want me to show you how I submit this appeal like on the stream?
I mean, sure. That'd be kind of
interesting.
You
can do it. I can do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay. So I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do some of this. I'm gonna do a little bit of that. I'm gonna do a little bit of that, and I'm gonna do some this. Oh, let's see. Oh, hey now. All right. Let's see. All right. Hold on. I'm getting it pulled up for you guys. Let's see. Beauty boo. All right, let's see. Okay. Don't know why that's. All right, now we'll try it. All right, if it doesn't work out after this, I'm just going to submit it. So. All right. Let's see. No, I can't. All right, I'm just going to submit it. I was going to do it.
That's too bad.
That's all right. It's okay. It's fine. Okay, review content. I'm gonna try one more time. I'm just gonna try one more time. That didn't work. Side 8. Okay, so let's try editor, begin review, third party content policy. So luckily it wasn't all the swastikas.
Yeah, it wasn't a hate thing. We promise.
we swear.
It's not. It's pretty clearly an anti-Hitler cartoon.
Yeah. Clearly, come on.
It's
come
Walt
on.
Disney.
Clearly, Disney. I mean, well, let's not even get into.
Well,
Disney's
wait
a little
second,
problematic.
wait a second.
Hold on. Hey, hold on now. Maybe we need to. Let's see. Do. Okay.
Man, I was at the gas station today. I stopped to get the cherry coke, and the lady in front of me got in a fight with the cashier.
Oh no.
Yeah, this lady. So there was like a long line, and we were waiting there for a while, and we finally get up there, and she's not buying anything. She just needs the receipt for whatever reason. She bought gas. She wants the receipt. And she says, "Y'all need to fix your pumps. I've told you already." And the cashier shoots back and was like, "They're fixed." And the lady, she says, "Well, clearly they aren't." And she storms out. And then the cashier says, "Well, then just shop somewhere else."
Oh, dang, Evan, how could you not tell me that?
And then, well, I forgot about it. So I just want to think about it. And then I'm next, and I just, like, I worked a long day today. And right. As much as I would usually love to get involved in some tasty gas station drama, I just couldn't really be bothered. And I'm just like, the cashier was venting to me afterward, like, cause I was like doing the worst. She's like, she comes in here all the time and she's always complaining. And I'm just like,
Yep. I hear ya. Ugh. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Just like grabbing your stuff slowly, backing away from the counter.
Just like my cherry coke.
Just let me get out of here.
You know they make spiced Coke now?
I've been seeing that.
I haven't tried it.
I actually thought about getting one today, and I was like, I don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
If I don't like it.
I feel like I'd probably like it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Another time.
One day, maybe.
It's almost like if you're making like a Captain Morgan rum and Coke, but just without the rum.
Right. Yeah, that's
like a
true.
Virgin spiced rum and Coke.
Yeah, that
in a bottle.
Yeah, I don't know. It might make me.
Yeah, now if you try one, you're gonna be thinking about that now.
I'm gonna throw up. It's like, no, there's no liquor in this. I can't. It's bringing back too many memories. Too shell shocked. All right, so the appeal has been submitted. So we'll see what happens.
All right, it's it looks like it's in your court now.
Falls in your court, YouTube. See what you see. Sometimes it's so funny because sometimes they're very quick, and then when they are, it's usually nope, nah, not happening. And then if they're on my side, it's not until like later.
They gotta think about
like,
it.
Yeah,
They gotta run it up the chain.
But usually when I submit it like this quick, it's usually a no. So I'm interested to see. Then again, if it doesn't work, I'll go to Team YouTube. But there's a whole thing. Anyway, we've been stalling. I've been stalling.
Let's
long
get
enough.
to the island.
Without further ado, we are. I hope you packed your bags, because it's time to take a little trip out to the island. The Spider Island. I was about to say, Evan, if you've got it queued up, but like, what am I doing? You're here. You're here right now.
Click.
So after that brain fart, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of Horrors of Spider Island right now. immediately the soundtrack is on. Babs, Barbara Valentine. God, what is it with these smooth jazz scores that we did 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
Jamie Nolan
The Lounge.
is not the name of the director that I have.
Oh, wait, what? Do we have a discrepancy?
No, it may just be an American credit. Maybe it was the dubbing director. I don't know.
The new director.
The real director's name was Fritz Butker. I don't know. It's the O with the two little dots over him. I have a hard time pronouncing some German stuff. Get ready for it.
These are models.
These are our models. Mike Blackwood.
Here's Singapore, in the south of Malaya.
Singapore.
Population approximately 550,000.
How do you say the guy's name
University,
spelled? Might be
shipbuilding, important seaport.
Yeah.
Doesn't it say anything about the 32 nightclubs there?
Have you
B-O-T-T-G-E-R.
already worked down in Singapore?
Not to work. However, I once had a friend, an oil sheik. He took me with him down there. He was quite a guy.
Those are the guys that run around in turbans, aren't they?
Listen, honey, when they take those turbans off, they're just like any other man.
Got a light.
Nice. She makes her own rules. She's
Now it just says no.
Going to Singapore?
I don't really care where I dance, as long as the pay's good.
That's him now.
I'm right here. Didn't you read my "Where the hell's my sign"? I paid $10 for that.
I really thought she was
I've
going
already been.
to pick it up and just snap
do
off
look
the
like
no and put it back.
That would have been good.
Smoking section.
Ah! Hello, Gary. Hi, Georgia. You're looking prettier every day. How in the world are you doing?
Mike?
Yeah?
Have you told the girls what this is all about?
Sure, Gary. A tour for a dancing troupe. First engagement, Singapore. I've 12 of them here to pick from.
Okay, Georgia. Let the girls in. We don't have much time.
All right, if we start now, Mr. Blackwood.
Of course.
Oh, but one at a time, please.
Okay. May? Smile, will you?
How do you do?
That's Mr. Webster, the manager. And this is May. She's the finest dancer in town.
What was your last engagement?
With the Coquettes, 1 year.
One of the finest.
Legs?
Pardon me? Mr. Webster would like to look at your legs.
Oh, sure.
Yep, totally normal showbiz
Thank you,
thing.
you're hired. Please wait outside.
You're hired.
Thank you.
Yep, she's got legs, all right.
Coquettes.
And this is Rhonda Hunter.
Dancer?
Not really. But I picked things up real fast.
Thank you. We're looking for dancers.
But what's that got to do with Singapore?
Come on, honey. Don't hold us up.
Uh,
Babs?
Babs.
This is Babs. Her legs are worth their weight in gold.
Can those golden legs also dance?
I was solo dancer in the Apollo Varieties.
And why did you leave there?
Oh, the boss really went for her, but his wife thought otherwise.
All right, you can work with us, as long as you don't have any affairs. Mr. Webster doesn't tolerate any fooling around.
I had all the boys I can take.
Come on. Carolyn. This little one's from the National Ballet.
Could you dance a little bit for us? Glad to. Would you put this one on for me?
Sure. Let's have a look.
Well, the first girl just showed her legs, like, you got the job. Now here comes this girl doing a whole routine.
Pretty well considering there's no room in this office to be doing this dance.
Great parody version of this. She's dancing around, destroying the entire office. Be great. Just turns into a whole Three Stooges.
Oh.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Gonna stub her toe.
You dance wonderfully. But I'm afraid ballet is
I'm
not
spinning too
what
fast.
we're looking
Throws up all over the office.
Don't be sad, honey. I tell you what, come in again tomorrow.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've got something else for you.
Oh, thanks.
Ooh.
All right.
They didn't give her the job.
Here are Gladys and Doreen.
Package
I
deal.
told you to let them in separately.
These babes been working from the start as a duo number.
And we would very much like to stay together if possible.
See,
On
we're
this tour,
holding
you'll be
hands.
dancing
We
with other
need
girls.
to stay
It
together.
doesn't matter, as long as we get to go overseas.
All right, you can both work with us. Please send the next one in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What is the criteria
What
to
is this interview
these
process?
auditions?
Linda.
Yeah, I like the cut of your jib. You're in.
She just comes in.
You're a stripper?
You're in.
At times,
Didn't I see you work the Sapphire Club last month?
how observant of you.
How come you quit that place?
The boss wanted to. I didn't.
Oh, are you always so picayunish?
That depends on the boss. Boss, shall I dance for you?
It's not necessary. You're hired. Wait outside.
Okay.
She just walks
Next
back out
girl,
naked.
please.
Yeah.
Confident
My
woman.
name is Nellie Hastings.
A new one. I haven't seen her work yet, but she's always been with good troops. Let's see her dance.
Next. You're not going to California. This is American Idol audition.
So how much of this movie is just interviews?
Wait, I'm very interested to see what we make of the story, from what I understand.
Okay. So far they're hiring dancers.
Yep.
Thank you. You're hired. Please wait outside. So, Mr. Blackwood has
She's coming
supplied
too
all the
close.
girls we need.
Fine, Georgia. Go and tell the girls when costume and dance rehearsals will start. Will you, please?
All right.
Listen, Gary, I thought you were the boss. But you let Georgia select all the girls.
I select all the girls.
You? But you didn't say a word.
Why should I? I have a little trick. When I keep my legs apart like so, it means I'm not interested. When I cross them like this, then it's okay.
You always were a crazy guy. When do things
All
get
right.
underway?
10 days.
10 days? Well, then, have a
I
good
mean,
trip.
Thank you.
I guess it's an interesting tactic.
I don't know why. Like, what kind of power?
He doesn't want to
move is
show any of them approval, so he
that?
filters everything through his secretary.
This is my mysterious boss. He never speaks.
In the year 1941. It's definitely old stock footage.
They've hired their dancers and they're going overseas.
And they're flying through the clouds.
We are now flying over the Pacific Ocean near Honolulu. Altitude is 15,000 feet.
15,000.
They're in the Pacific Ocean.
Mayday, Mayday. Clipper 247. Clipper 247. We are 9,000 feet, losing altitude. Number 2 engine burning. Prop feathered.
Budget for a plane crash?
Oh, the humanity.
We got any World War II stock footage we can
Damn, I
use?
can't pick him
Oh,
up
sure.
anymore. Clipper 247.
No, Mr. Hastings, I can only repeat. There's absolutely no reason yet to fear the worst. Until now, we only know that the plane caught fire and that we've lost radio contact.
Look, the details
I'll
don't
let you know
matter.
immediately, as soon as I hear something
This
new.
is just a movie, okay?
Oh my god.
Blackwood Agency. No, Mr. Alberts, I don't have any further information. But of course there's a search party out there. I tell you, rescuers are looking all over for them. There's still hope, even after 4 days. Yes? I'll call you as soon as I hear something new.
Yeah, you could really use that drink. Ooh, pretty.
So in a modern movie, they would spend a lot more time on this crash aspect of the story.
Right. We just
glossed right over that.
Again, there's no budget for that.
Stop that bawling. You're driving us all nuts.
Water. Just one swallow.
No more today. Tomorrow you'll get another ration.
Gary, give me some water.
What do you think you are?
The fifth night. We can't hold out much longer.
You're starting that too, Georgia? A ship has to go by here sometime, or we've got to at least see some land.
Sea, land, sea, land.
There's plenty of land in the Pacific Ocean.
Water. Please give me water.
Look, a bird.
Oh, thanks.
Where there are birds, there must be land.
Ooh, sneaky,
Are you
sneak.
crazy? Give that to me.
Oh. Yikes. It's been a while since we had yikes.
Look there, Gary, over there.
Oh,
Land.
there was an
Did
island.
you see that?
Help me paddle. We've got
Just
to make
popped
it.
up out of
Paddle with your
nowhere.
hand.
But you can tell they're like anchored to something just out of frame.
Don't stop now.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
well,
not going anywhere.
I mean, gosh, can you imagine trying to film keep a consistent angle on a non-anchored, like, lifeboat?
No. God, it's beautiful. The beautiful beaches of Yugoslavia. I mean, Singapore.
Oh, I can't go on anymore. Come, I'll help you. Oh.
Yeah, God, it would be crazy to hit land after being on a lifeboat for 4 days.
4 days.
There you are, Georgia. Lie down.
Thanks. I can't go anymore. Here.
Babs.
Babs is just hanging out.
And where's Gilligan?
Yeah. He and the skipper went off to go see if they could find some coconuts so the professor could turn and make a radio out of it.
Hey.
Hey, somebody left this boat here.
Wow, what a perfect landing spot.
Yeah.
This is the original party code.
Yeah.
Georgia, darling.
Oh, Gary. Oh, Gary.
What, is he gonna drift away? What? Come on. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Easily avoidable.
Gary just had too much to take care of. There's the last thing on his mind was tying the boat off.
Yeah, I guess to be fair, in most like castaway stories, you don't have to take care of 8 models.
No, his hands are definitely full. I guess this is fresh water.
Water! Water!
Hi, Gary.
Water! Come on! Come on! Come on!
Oh, water. Wonderful. Oh, come on, girl. Oh, water. Oh, wonderful. Come on.
You know what? I don't think we're ever going to find out where these models are going, why they were going there. I don't think any of that matters. I think it's just about this shit.
Spring. Oh.
Just having all these models running toward water, just getting themselves all wet.
Would you call this movie gratuitous?
Yes, it's definitely an exploitation film through and through. Even in West Germany, they're making exploitation.
That's enough. Let's go and have a look around. Come on. Come on, Georgia. Ready? Let's go.
It was good.
Feeling better now?
Stupid shoe.
Don't lag
I'll
behind.
help you. Thanks.
It's funny because a year ago this time we were watching Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory, which was also an international tale about a bunch of women kind of in an isolated place being stalked by a monster.
Do you think Europeans are horny?
I think that's what this is all about. Yes, I think you just really hit the nail on the head there.
Listen, what a strange silence.
Well, let's keep going.
I wonder where it leads. I wonder how much further we're going to have to go. Wait a minute. What do you think's here?
I love how that's probably just 2 different women who are like
just
like
talking back and forth.
trying to be 8 or 9 different other women.
Gary!
Look what I just found.
A hammer. There must be someone on this island.
I told you I wanted a hammer.
With a long handle. It must be for the purpose of excavating some sort of metal. Most probably uranium.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, you can try it. Come on, let's
Most
go and find
probably,
out.
he said, Evan.
What?
Most probably uranium. This is a uranium hammer.
Why was that where? I mean, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe that's just a uranium hammer. But
Long boots for these horses.
Come on, hurry up. Look. Come here. Look, a cabin.
God, imagine being the person who lived in this cabin.
Ah, yes, that was.
He died too early. He died right before a gaggle of models descended on this isolated cabin.
He was about to have it made. I love that. I love how artificial it is.
Yeah, it's a nice Halloween.
It's a very German web. It's very
rigid.
Yeah, there's an expressionistic quality to it being so artificial.
Well, they got a hammer.
That is wild. That is a wild looking image.
They found their first weapon like this is a video game.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is.
Oh,
Stranded
look.
on an island.
They
Come on.
randomly find a hammer in the grass.
He's about to find a loot box.
The poor professor, when he made the last entry in the diary,
love that shot.
he didn't know how horribly he would die.
Well, his discovery of the uranium deposits didn't help him any, even if it does represent a tremendous fortune.
Right.
We must keep it from the girls that Professor Green had a premonition of his fate.
You see here, in the last paragraph, he says he thought something terrible was going to happen. He just felt the danger.
I wonder where that peculiar hissing came from that he always heard. Oh, Gary, I'm terribly scared. I'm so afraid.
Don't worry, Georgia. As long as I'm around, nothing will happen to you. I promise.
That thing's probably
Hi,
long
Georgia.
gone.
I'm hungry. I made something for you to eat. Lucky there were some canned goods here.
Canned goods, you said?
Food. It must have been a really gigantic spider to be able to spin such a huge web. Maybe there are more of them. We found the professor's trunk full of stuff. They'll certainly be useful.
1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It's definitely where I should have taken the break. It's like a minute.
If we divide
I
the
didn't know
provisions
that
up
that's what it
carefully,
was.
they should last for a month.
What did you say, Georgia? A month? Do you really think we'll be here a whole month?
I don't know.
We have to go tomorrow to the highest cliff and light a smoke signal to try and attract a ship. 10, 11, 12.
Give me that shirt. No, it belongs to me. After all, I found it. But my dress is in worse shape than yours. No, I want to have it.
Oh,
Give it to
my
me. Give it to
God.
me. It's mine.
Stop that fighting. Give me that shirt.
Hey! Dad over here. Okay, Dad.
Thanks, Gary.
I suppose
Gary.
you could have guessed that Georgia would be getting it.
I'll turn this island around.
Haven't you ever noticed that Gary pampers her?
What's this? Where did you get the pullover?
I found it here, if you don't have anything against it.
Now stop it or I'll take care of both of you. Give me something to drink, Georgia.
Cue the bounce
Take it
chicka
easy,
wow
Gary.
music.
We're all a little nervous. It's really no wonder.
Don't you think I'd rather be in a bar in Singapore with a nice cold drink than to be on this godforsaken place?
With a nice cold drink?
Drinking this horrible stuff? Bah.
And that is going to take us to our first break. So that was the first third of Horrors of Spider Island. What do we think so far, Evan?
This movie is silly, man, but I'm having fun. This is a fun watch so far.
It's, yeah, in terms of plot, I think we can already say there's not much there. It's more just about having all these models on an island.
Yeah, like the plot synopsis and the like complete plot explanation, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, and it's literally just beat for beat, and you don't get any more details than just. And the plane crashed, and then they washed up on an island. Nothing happens in between those two things.
It's really convenient that they immediately solved their food and water problem.
Right, all this stuff is just there. There was a professor, and he found out there was some uranium. I mean, the next thing you know, there's going to be some greedy professor showing up, and then you're going to find out there's a whole underground
we're going
civilization.
back to Morania.
Yeah, Morania, it's everywhere, really. You can't escape it. No, it's definitely an exploitation film, right? It's almost more of a like, we haven't gotten there quite yet, but you can see how it's almost a little bit more like, not nudie cutie, but you can see this like kind of sexual overtones, undertones, whatever you want to call it. Like you pointed out, as you said earlier, I guess we figured out the Europeans are just really horny. And yeah, I mean, that's like what this movie kind of comes at a time where, like, you know, obviously the code was breaking down the United States, but abroad, I mean, they were
not really a thing.
Nah, so they were pushing it. So then you would, you know, these movies would be released in the United States and they would be edited. That stuff would be edited out normally, but abroad, that stuff was popular. So that apparently those versions of those films were called continental films.
The continental films.
Yeah, because you're right. Because they just they're maybe not going to be so successful in the United States, but abroad you're going to be pretty popular.
Yeah, it goes pretty well with like some like scrambled eggs and
right,
like a waffle out of the
yeah, but you gotta wait in line for if you really want the waffle, and you may not have.
You just get a bagel and go sit.
Yeah, it might be of a better speed. But yeah, usually a continental version of a movie would have nudity or more risque content. And so this movie.
So how many sex scenes have been cut out of this movie?
Well, actually. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get into that later because there are that is exactly the case with tonight's film. That's what happened. But that's the thing. I mean, this film was released in Germany, in West Germany, in 1960. It didn't make it to the United States until 2 years later. So there was this was starting to be accepted as early as the late 50s in the international cinema community, but obviously the United States, it took a little bit. But the producer of tonight's movie was a West German producer. The company was Rapid Film. His company, Wolf Hartwig, is the producer's name.
Okay.
And he was very much an low budget exploitation producer. Although this was one of the only horror films that he did. I mean, he did thrillers and even westerns and action films, adventure films, all kinds of stuff.
He could have gotten a lot more mileage out of this spider.
He could have. I love that spider, dude. And I hope we see more of it. And the way it was raising its hand, doing that gesture, it looked like a crab claw. It was great. I really hope we see more. But yeah, he really didn't take advantage of. He did produce one other horror film before this, a West German horror film from the year before this, 1959, entitled The Head, which we don't have a trailer for. I tried to find one, couldn't find it. But The Head was successful, and I think it led to this. But he didn't really do any other horror films. He did a Sam Peckinpah World War II film entitled Cross of Iron, which was a co-production. Which that's the thing in Germany. West Germany. I mean, we've talked about it with some of the other international films we've seen on the show. The co-productions were a popular thing in, in Italy especially, but West Germany, there were many co-productions. To kind of just go into the whole, like, we were joking about joking about West Germany earlier, and but it's funny, like, if you don't know, so basically after World War II, Germany was split up into West and East Germany. West was controlled by the Allies, United States, UK, and France, and the East was controlled by the Soviet Union, and each had its own film industry, basically, which kind of obviously came out of the German film industry that we talked about earlier that, had been kept alive by the Nazis, but it was very much propaganda oriented. So when the Allies came in and took over and split things up, the East and the Soviet side really got a lot of the resources of the German, German cinema. But the filmmakers were very restricted in what they could do. And because they were Soviet, affiliated films, they didn't really have the kind of international distribution potential that films from West Germany. Yeah, it was, because they were Soviet products. So.
Yeah, that's not getting across the Iron Curtain.
No, but the films out of West Germany did. And, West Germany, they didn't have the resources, but the film industry started up pretty fast, and Germany, we talked about German expressionism. Germany is just constantly gone through different movements of film. And what came about, like, out of World War II and up till around the time of tonight's film, they had something called the Trümmer film, or the rubble film, which was basically about people in Germany post World War II, like in the rubble, trying to recover and, live their lives. And that was like related to even some an Italian film movement called Italian neorealism, that, like, there was a movie that an Italian filmmaker did in Germany, in West Germany, that was apparently like kind of an inspiration for the whole rubble film subgenre. But then they also had something called the Heimat film, or the Homeland film, which was more like, moral tales of rural life in Germany and the Alps, but a little more like simplistic. And they
rustic.
Rustic, yeah, 100%. They also made comedies and musicals and operas, and there was a lot of stuff coming out of West Germany. But what really started to come about around the time of tonight's film was a subgenre entitled the criminal film, or the krimis for short. That's what they called it, were krimis. And the main, like, what's really considered the main subgenre of krimis are these particular movies that are all adaptations of one author's work. It's about 40 films that were released between 1959 and 1972, and they were all based on the works of this author named Edgar Wallace, and they were crime thrillers. Edgar Wallace was a prolific British, I think he was British. Yeah, British writer, and he had died in 1932. But for some reason in 59, I guess this company, Rialto Films, got the rights to one novel, made the film. It was a huge success. So they bought the rights to, like, all his other stories, and they made like 42 films that were just this one company, but there were other films that weren't produced by Rialto that are also considered crimies, that some of them even aren't even based on Edgar Wallace stories, but they're that crime thriller film. The crime thriller was just really popular in Germany from the time of like Tonight's Film until the early 70s. And that's the thing why Tonight's Film is a horror film that stands out, because really there weren't many horror films being produced. It was mostly these crime films. So those are the trailers we're going to see. And we actually, in the pre-roll, you saw the trailer for Dead Eyes of London. That's a crimi film based on an Edgar Wallace story. So the trailers we're going to see are for other crimi films. The first is one... So this is interesting. So I said earlier, a lot of these films were also co-productions, or they were released internationally. There was international appeal, right? So the trailer that we're going to see is for a movie that was released internationally under the title Circus of Fear. And it is a crimi film based on an Edgar Wallace story.
Yeah. I think that's also an Insane Clown Posse album.
Right. And that's what you would think. They definitely stress the clown and the circus angle and the horror of it, right? Well, in America, it was released under the title of, I believe, Psycho Circus.
Oh, nice.
Which sounds cool, right? That sounds like some Rob Zombie bullshit.
That sounds like a different Insane Clown Posse album.
It does. It does just sound like a different... The thing is... It's so weird. We're gonna see the trailers for the international trailer, and under the title Circus of Fear. And then we're gonna see a trailer for the United States release under Psycho Circus. But the thing is, Circus of Fear sells it more like a horror movie. Psycho Circus sells it like a heist crime movie, but it's really like a crime thriller.
We got a Satan's dog.
So this is a Dracula's dog.
Dracula's dog.
Zoltan, Hound of Dracula bit here that we have, comparing two versions of the same trailer and looking at two different marketing campaigns for the same thing. And it's like, it's not really a horror film, but one trailer sells it that way. Another one sells it in a completely different way, and it's just odd. So
it's Dracula's dog.
It's Dracula's dog. Oh god, that was so great, wasn't it? I need to find more of those. This one kind of does that. It's when we take the break. Full disclosure, tonight we're giving you all a peek behind the curtain. When we take the break, Evan and I kind of step away from the computer, so we don't always get to see both trailers. Evan doesn't always get to see both trailers. So everyone won't get to see this Circle of Fear trailer or Circus of Fear trailer. But the great thing about it is that when it says Circus of Fear, it goes Circus of Fear, 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 fear. And it's like, it's just so over the top, dude.
So
and
be sure to enjoy that.
Yeah. Psycho Circus is not it. The trailer's not as good. But it's just surprising because usually United States film will want to push the horror angle, but they don't. So even with the title like Psycho Circus, you will see, you'll be the judge. So we're going to get these two trailers. When we come back, we'll get into the exciting middle of Horrors of Spider Island. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Sudden, violent, unexpected. The daring daylight robbery that was planned to earn them a fortune. Sudden, violent, unexpected. The events that trapped them in a police net. Sudden, violent, unexpected. Death for the man who escaped with $250,000. His hiding place? The world's biggest circus. Now, a circus of fear.
Why should a criminal take refuge in a circus? think of 100 reasons. So many people, so many different nationalities. Not very hard for a man to lose his identity.
So many people, so many faces, so many secrets. A circus of fear.
Shiva! Back!
Gregor, the lion tamer, whose face no man had ever seen, whose secrets no one had ever shared. Elliot, the police inspector. His job, to find a killer and learn the secrets of this circus of fear.
Why are you looking at me?
Behind the glitter, behind the grease paint, the suspects. The circus boss, the ringmaster, the jealous knife thrower.
Will you be on?
Get your hands off me!
Circus of fear. As exciting as the big top, as dangerous as a wild lion, dramatic as a face-to-face meeting with death.
Just what are you trying to prove with all these stupid questions?
That justice can't be cheated, and that a man who kills in cold blood doesn't deserve to live in freedom.
So what would you do? Kill him?
There are women who drive men to madness.
You like my legs, don't you?
There's a madness that makes men criminals. Psycho Circus, the wild ones of the underworld. Coldly ruthless. Violators of all laws, even their own.
Put that thing away. What are we gonna do? Murder. Different thing, isn't it?
More dangerous than the wildest of circus animals. They reach for women who are the unusual, the discontented, the insatiable.
Come on, get up and give me a drink.
Hiding behind circus make-believe, they plan the greatest robbery ever known.
All you gotta do is get it there safely. If you do, we'll get you out of the country. If you don't...
In a world metropolis, in broad daylight, they attack. Then, psycho madness pays its debts.
So we are back, and I'm just baffled with the title like Psycho Circus that you would sell it as a crime movie. Like, come on, you've got so much potential there.
They could have just went Circus of Psycho.
Yeah, well, that would have, yeah. I mean, then they really would have been overselling it. No, I mean, no, and so it's funny. Evan and I were just talking about how familiar face popped up in that trailer, Mr. Klaus Kinski, who we saw on this show last season when we watched the movie Creature.
Renowned scumbag.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Klaus
as Evan accurately referred to him, that scumbag guy. And yep, that's Klaus Kinski.
That's how I have him filed in my memory.
Scumbag guy, that is him. He showed up in the Dead Eyes of London trailer as well. Apparently, he was in a lot of the Crimmy films. Like, he was just a recurring. Like, there were a few actors that appeared in a lot of them, and that was kind of, I guess, how he got his exposure on the international circuit and became a bankable international name. because he just acted in a lot of those films, and then went on to have a popular association with a director who we'll talk about later. Because again, that goes into kind of the transition of the West German film industry after the Krimi films kind of went out of style, right? Where did the German film industry turn? We'll talk about later. But you'll also see that it didn't show it in the second trailer that Christopher Lee is like, it didn't show any clips of Christopher Lee. But in the first trailer they did, and yeah, he's like...
Why would you not show him?
Exactly, that's why I'm saying that trailer for the United States release of Psycho Circus is so strange to me, because like, why are you selling it like a crime film? Why are you not showing Christopher Lee? Why are you not like marketing it like a horror film? Like, even if it's not really a horror film, I'm just shocked to see him go in that direction. I don't know, maybe there was some popular crime film at that time. I don't know. That was 66 when that came out. So there might have been something that inspired them to go that direction. But I mean, yeah, I mean, and that was shot in England, but it was a German, I guess it was a co-production with the UK. And I mean, that's the thing. I mean, in the 50s and 60s, you had a lot of Americans working overseas. You had a lot of people that had spent time in Hollywood, who had immigrated to Hollywood before the war, go back to Germany. And so this is an interesting environment. And the DP on tonight's film, 3 years before tonight's film, had worked with Stanley Kubrick on his war movie Paths of Glory, which was a World War I film, I believe, with Kirk Douglas. And so like, that's the thing. A lot of people involved in tonight's film had worked with, you know, kind of experienced filmmakers. But you know, when you're making a low budget horror movie, sometimes it's just about having some sex appeal and a little bit of creature. Yeah, and that's all you need.
All you need.
And that's what we've gotten so far, and I think that's what
Pretty
we're going to
much.
continue to get.
That was a very succinct recap.
That's it. That's all you need to know. If you're just joining us, there's your recap. That's it. Not much to it. Anything before we get into the exciting middle of Horrors of Spider Island, Evan?
Man, I've just been thinking about how different Blue Lagoon would have been if there was just a giant spider terrorizing those kids on that island.
Well, that one sounds like a more fun movie to me.
I mean, really, yeah, it sounds more
You
interesting.
know, who needs a coming of age like tale, like where it's just these kids growing up and kind of finding who they are? You need a monster. You need a threat. You don't need puberty's not a good antagonist.
That's what Lord of the Flies needed. It really would have. You needed something to band those little boys together.
I thought one of those pigs was going to be some kind of mutant monster, and they were going to have to band together to kill the mutant monster pig.
And they they learned to work together for their to defeat
early
their
in the
enemy.
book. It seems like it's going that direction, and it had me until it was clear that it was more of a.
They were too busy killing that kid with the glasses.
I was going to say not a class system thing, but what is that? It's a bit like a thematically. I'm trying to think about Lord of the Flies. What you would say that's about? Like systems of inequity. I can't. I don't have the terminology for it, but I just expected. I would have liked for it to be more of a pulp story and not a mediation on the again, a coming of age tale of just kids who were kind of messed up.
They could have teamed up and beaten up that paratrooper's corpse.
Whoa, war! Come on, zombie action.
Yeah,
Here, Jimmer's
actually,
corpse comes
now
to
there
life.
you go,
And-
yeah.
Oh, dude, let's. Okay, so
They're terrified of the thing, and then he comes back as a
So we're gonna
zombie.
start writing our Lord of the Flies fanfic, and it's gonna become a whole thing. People are gonna love it because we're actually gonna make it good. We're gonna make it. You'll write the one with the monster. I'll write the one with the zombie, and we'll have two new and improved versions of Lord of the Flies that they will adopt in the schools because they're obviously
They're just so
more
much
fun.
better.
Yeah, wouldn't you? So be on the lookout for that. Anything else before we get into it, Evan?
I think that about wraps it up.
All right. On that note, we're gonna go ahead and get into the exciting middle of Horrors of Spider Island. So here we go.
Darned heat. Look out, will you? And stop making so much noise.
If you don't like it, you can do the dishes. Or do you think I'm doing this for my own pleasure?
Stop blowing your
Nobody
chocolate
likes
dry
to
up,
do the
will you?
dishes.
Do you have anything better to do, though?
I hate to do the
I simply can't stand this frightful heat any longer.
How about throwing your dirty blouse someplace else? I want to sleep. I sure hope you don't lose your lipstick. You'd hardly be able to get along on this island without it.
Mm. Sounds like she's from Texas. Well, the voice actor is obviously not. Not that German girl.
It's about time. Now I'll shower. Give it here.
Come on. Come on, girls. Let's go to sleep.
I'm going to sleep outside. Me too.
He is. They're playing house.
Good night.
He's dad. Okay, thank you,
And
music.
the jazz is coming back.
Sexy jazz.
So now that the kids are asleep, how about you and I sneak?
Woo! See, this is the point where if I could cue up a Looney Tunes cartoon wolf with his eyes popping out and the tongue
going blah,
yeah,
blah,
blah,
blah.
yeah, this would be the time.
Good. I found the professor's revolver.
Get some sleep, Gary.
Great. Cool.
I can't. I think I'll go out for a little walk. But don't worry. I'll be back right
I want to go
away.
shoot at some things.
I'm
Now
gonna
that I
go
got
for a-
this gun.
I want to go for a walk with my new gun.
Ah, freedom. This is just absurd, dude. Aren't you? You know how many mosquitoes are out here? He's not coming out there at all just to ogle at the girls.
Gary?
Gary, you knew that was gonna happen. Don't act so surprised.
Gary.
Gary, you scumbag. What about Georgia?
Gary.
Gary. Uh-oh.
Oops.
Damned heat. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Blame it on the heat. Good job, Gary. Way to play it off. Oh, fuck. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
That was a mighty sounding slap.
You gotta love a exaggerated sound effect of a slap. It just Because you know it's not a real hit, but the sound just makes it, dude. Oh, there it is. Our little friend.
It's this heat. Why? This heat's making me so horny.
I gotta just run around and get it out of my system. Ooh.
I can't tell if it's day or night.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. I think it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be night, and it's day for night. So it looks like day, but it is supposed to be night.
Oh, Gary!
I love that shot. I had not seen that before. That was great. So articulate. Oh, Gary! Squash it, Gary. Squash it.
Where's your uranium hammer when you need it?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there you
There's
go.
his uranium hammer. It's his gun.
I heard them clearly.
Is it raining?
What happened to Gary?
It is now.
Not where Gary's at. He ran really far.
Okay.
Was
cool.
that animated?
Yeah, I think so.
That was awesome.
Stop motion or something. Oh,
What?
snap. What?
Ah!
What?
Ah!
He's going alone. Stay here. Don't leave us alone. You won't find Gary.
That was not scripted.
It just happened.
Oh, just leave everything as it is. We must find Gary. Babs and Ann, you go in that direction. Where in
Gary.
the world is Kate?
Here, Georgia.
You two go in
Here,
that direction.
Georgia.
Kate and May will go along with me.
Hurry up.
Grumble, grumble,
What about
grumble.
me? You remain here and put things in order while we're gone.
If it was nowadays, instead of that mirror, it would be a phone.
Hey, Gary!
Would you quit that whistling? You're making me nervous.
I'm not afraid when I whistle.
Ah! Yep. You're just asking for it at this point. Gary's not Gary anymore.
Gary!
Come on, we gotta keep looking.
Without me, I'm staying
Now
right
he's
here.
Mary. Monster Gary.
Mary.
Did
He's
you hear
married.
anything?
No.
But there's something moving there.
I don't hear anything. Gary! Hey, Gladys! Don't leave me alone. Then hurry up. Gary! 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 Gary!
Gary! Gary! Ah! Oh, come on.
It's so funny what this movie chooses to like spend time on. Like it glosses over some stuff and then drags on some stuff.
It's I'm surprised how on the nose it is.
It's emotions. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, there's been not a lot of camera movement, but from time to time there's been some good camera movement. You want to see something cool? You want to hear something cool?
What's that?
Scream, stream.
I heard it scream. I heard it plainly.
Nice, dude.
I use that clip for the promo for the Summer Schlock Returns, so I knew it was coming.
Linda.
First time we found out her name was Linda.
How awful.
Ooh.
She's been strangled.
You don't see the bite marks on her neck?
Anne.
Oh, it's horrible. Oh, Georgia, the professor's been killed. Gary's disappeared, and now we've just buried Linda. Which one of us is going to be next? I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Anne.
Who's gonna die next, you think?
Before you drive us all crazy.
Gee.
Could it be her?
The
And I
warrior?
tell you, they'll never find us, never.
But I'm sure the police are moving heaven and hell to find us, honey.
Aw, shucks,
The police?
honey.
The cops I know.
She's
if they
just a
catch you
Texas
speeding a little
gal.
bit or find you drunk, they send you right off to the cooler. But you just let somebody get lost and they won't lift a finger. Do you believe that they'll go running around for a few broads who are lost?
But how are they to know that we've been rescued and on this little island?
Rescued? Who's been rescued? We, perhaps? Show me the island. Show me where does it lie in the ocean. Show it to me.
By the time they find us, we'll all be dead. You, and you.
You're
One
gonna
after
kill
the
each
other.
other.
Back. Get a hold of yourself. You're only getting all the girls worked up.
Well, if it isn't Miss Georgia, of all people, it has to be you. Who has Gary and Linda on her conscience? Who?
Babs, do you know what you're saying?
Exactly. Through your jealousy. You should never have left Linda alone in the cabin.
Shut up, will you?
Linder.
What can Georgia do about Linda?
I hate it
Take
when
your
people put an
hands off
R
me,
at the end
or
of
I'll
an
break
A.
your arm.
Just you try
Linder.
that, baby. Take that. You. Stop it! Babs, Nellie, stop it!
So I will say, like, despite how gratuitous this movie is, it does pass the Bechdel test.
Oh my god.
So
It
make sure
really
you
does.
spend a lot of time on this fight scene.
You know what? Let's give it a full 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Ah! Oh, she fainted. What a surprise. What?
See
Wait,
ya.
Gary, come back. A boat.
Come!
Is the ship getting any closer?
I don't know. Come on, throw it on.
Yeah, should
You
I
don't
get some
know.
more?
No,
She sounds
no,
like
that's
she's
enough.
from up north.
That's giving enough smoke.
You don't know.
They must see us. They can't just leave us here. Hello! Hello!
Stop all that screaming, Anne. You're driving me crazy.
Let me go. Hello! Take us with you. Hello! We're over here. Please don't forget us. Yell with me. They must hear us. Hello! Hello there! Take us with you. May, it sailed right by. It sailed by.
Well, at least you're on a beautiful island.
We'll never get home now. Never again.
28 days. 28 long days.
Brutal.
Almost out of food.
And nobody even knows we're here. And today a ship sails right by us. Our rescue so close. Anne, May, Oh, Georgia, a ship. There, a ship. Oh, it's gone. How terrible. And we only have enough food left for 3 days.
3 days?
Anne! Come on back.
Oh my God. Let's just show this in a wide. Let's do this in an extreme wide shot. Jeez.
So did they not think to like try to catch any food in this month that they've been here? We're just
that
gonna,
is a
we're just
great
gonna live
Evan.
off this canned food.
You go ahead and start unloading.
You
I'll
could
take
make
the
a
oars
cane
up.
fishing
Okay,
pole
Bob.
out of whatever's right there. Who? What?
Who's this guy?
What are you carrying the oars so far away for? Afraid the mermaids will steal our boat?
Don't talk to me about women on this godforsaken island.
It's just these two buddies. They're going on a canoe trip, kayaking
It
trip.
wasn't approved.
They came out of Party Cove just to hang out, have a few beers, throw the frisbee around.
Hey,
Don't tell
come
me
on
about
over
women.
here. Give me a hand.
Okay, I'm coming.
Take it easy. Easy now. Easy, that is boy.
That's all their beers.
Bob, you know, I'm sort of glad the professor picked us out to help him with his work, even though it's lonely over here.
Give me some whiskey.
There we go.
Yeah.
There it is.
A whole case of whiskey.
At least some whiskey.
You only think about whiskey and women.
These guys are about to have their day made.
Get off my back. I'm sick of your preaching.
Take the professor, for example.
That guy's always been lucky. While we explore all sorts of islands for 6 months, he comes with us once and finds the stuff. And of all places on this miserable...
Oh, careful now. Stop grumbling, will ya?
Go on.
I'll go and look for the professor now.
Okay. Get on out of here, will you? In the meantime, I'll unload.
And have fun.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there you go. He'll have fun unloading now. Ooh, is that? Looks like some Johnny Walker. Red Label.
These mermaids.
I gotta get up in this tree. I gotta hide from the mermaids.
I'm afraid of mermaids.
They have legs, but I'm sure they're still mermaids. Keeping Tom.
Is he licking his lips? What was that?
Probably, yeah, he probably is. And you know, this is very muddy quality, but they are in the nude. This is you know, kind of the more. This is not the continental version of this film, but this is like a taste of what the continental version is like.
Quick, girls, we're in danger.
We got some aquatic horror going on.
We're here. So, but all of us will be killed. Let's go. Come on.
She's gone. Let's get out of here.
She's dead. She's dead. We gotta go.
Look over there.
What?
Is it the spider?
Maybe. I can't tell. It looks all messed up if it is.
How terrible. The web in the cabin.
Must
The
be the
gun.
spider.
Gary,
Gary took it with him that night.
Oh yeah, I guess Gary shot it and then turned into a monster.
And this is his bracelet.
But where is Gary?
Please, Georgia, let's go. I'm so afraid.
He's definitely in the same place they're at. Thank you.
Come and sit with me.
What do you want from me?
Well, give you 3 guesses.
Did we see them meet, or we just get right into
I was
it?
going to ask you for the time.
Probably Continental. They probably met when she was in the nude. Can't see that.
Georgia! 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 Here we are.
It plays a little differently when they just skip right ahead.
Right.
She screamed terribly. Who was it? Didn't you see anyone?
No, it all happened so quickly.
A scream? And she'd already disappeared.
Maybe the spider killed the professor. And Linda.
We found a gigantic spider, dead.
It was shot with the professor's own revolver.
And Gary's bracelet was laying there beside it.
What's that noise?
You're gonna jump him.
Hands up. Stop or I'll shoot.
Hey. Hello, baby.
Hands up.
Anything you wish.
Get going into the cabin.
What a coincidence. That's where I wanted to go.
I said get going.
All righty.
He was expecting the professor. He comes up
doesn't
on
look so terrible.
7 gorgeous
They're the
women.
really dangerous one.
He's not
Too
gonna
bad.
fight.
I surrender.
You got me.
Okay,
You
come
got
on.
me.
Where's Gladys? What did you do with her?
Let me speak to him.
Let Babs get at him.
Gladys? No idea. I don't know the young lady, unfortunately. We just got here, down on the lagoon.
You see, Georgia? Where we were swimming.
And that's where Gladys disappeared.
On the lagoon? Ah.
Oh.
Don't laugh.
She
I'm
didn't
sorry about
disappear. She got pulled
Oh, I
off
don't
by
know.
that. Oh, okay.
Just look at what's coming down the path.
Gladys! For goodness sake,
Gladys.
We thought you were dead.
Who's that?
My friend Bob. We work together for Professor Green.
Why, he's a big uranium research man. I met him before in the reeds.
A researching researcher.
Then you had better luck than I.
What?
I was nearly
What?
shot. That is, if the
That's the
revolver had
worst
been loaded.
line we've ever heard
And
on
you?
this show
You here on a summer
ever.
vacation?
And we're
Why summer
93
vacation?
episodes in.
If we hadn't found this island, we wouldn't be here to tell the story.
We've seen a
We
lot of
crashed on our
crap.
way to Singapore.
Ah, then you're the American dance troupe that got lost.
Yes. Well, how do you know that?
All the newspapers in the world have carried your story.
What?
I'll bet Professor Green was surprised when all these girls showed up. Ha!
Professor Green is dead.
What's with the professor? Dead? What?
He was hanging in a huge spider web. That's how we found him. Linda is dead, and Gary, our manager,
So which
has
one of
also
these guys is
disappeared.
Gilligan?
Spider web? Do you really believe that? By the way, our ship is coming back in 2 days. We must radio information right away so that they can send an agent to clear the matter up.
You mean it? A ship's coming by?
Our expedition ship.
Then it will take us with it?
Yeah, of course.
We're rescued.
Yeah.
I think I could see a bucket hat over on the
Yeah, I could see it. And that is going to take us to our second break. So, we're 2/3 of the way through Horrors of Spider Island. What are we thinking, Evan?
It kind of feels like the movie's wrapping up.
Right, there's some light at the end of this tunnel. Finally, some plot movement. We're moving this thing forward.
Yeah.
You know? You can spend 5 minutes on all the girls, sleeping or swimming or, But eventually you got to keep it moving forward. So we moved it forward here. Yeah.
I mean, as far as like being stranded on an island goes, these girls have like they haven't had it that bad, I think. Even with like, okay, so here's a hypothetical for you, Garrett, and for everybody out there. This is a real bear versus man kind of thing. Would you rather be stuck on an island with a month's worth of food and a murderous spider, or no food and no spider?
Like, you mean like
canned
food. Not like food I could
There's
get
like
myself.
fish in the water, presumably.
I think I'd take my chances with the spider, honestly. What about you?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
having all that. So I just finished reading The Road by Cormac McCarthy, which features a lot of canned food, and so I'm immediately seeing like,
you're like,
go for the
well,
canned food.
It's gonna get me by for long enough to try to come up with some kind of a plan. So I love that. That is, I mean, yeah, they really did. As soon as they got there, they find the cabin. That was the funny thing. Was it's not enough that they would just crash land on and end up on this deserted island, but it's an island that a professor was doing experiments at.
Lucky.
Like, that's a horror
So
movie
lucky.
plot.
Yeah.
Like, that's
We've seen that movie,
right.
Probably more than once.
Yeah,
on
and
the
there's
show.
other movies we haven't seen on this show that follow that plot. And it is
It's just this professor on
see,
this island.
now-
How many professors are just living on islands?
Bro, now I'm realizing I could have shown a trailer. There's a great movie called The Flesh Eaters, and this is the plot. Literally, like, this washed up actress is like boarding a plane to go do a job. The plane crashes. They're on an island. There's a Nazi professor doing experiments. He's created this flesh-eating thing that it's actually an early gore film, and it's really good. I was surprised it was good because back in the day it'd come up on the guide and have 1 star, and I think, back in the day I really took a lot of credence in how many stars were in the guide. So when I saw 1, I was like, ooh, it must be bad. Saw the movie, loved it. It's a great movie, and it's a much better version of this kind of, except instead of 8 models, it's just 1 gorgeous actress, and we'll take it. And her sister, who's also pretty.
Come to think of it, there's even an episode of Gilligan's Island that follows that there's a mad scientist living in a castle on like the next island over or
Right.
something.
See, I haven't seen that, but of course there is, right? I love that. And that is the beauty of the narrative of tonight's movie it's something that it's familiar, you know. They're not having to work super hard on the plot because we'll buy it because it's like, yeah, I've seen some things like this, so okay, sure,
Right, yeah.
fine. It's just, you know, it is like the dubbing and the cutting, and some of that is a little more strenuous. I mean, obviously, this is, like we talked about, this is the United States edited version of it. But this is actually the second United States edited version of it. Right.
Okay.
The first version came out 2 years after it was released in its home country. It was released in the United States in 1962 under the title It's Hot in Paradise. And it was released, it was the Continental version released under the moniker Adults Only.
Okay.
That was a thing that in the early to mid 60s, before the code totally broke down, they started to be able to do that.
So they only cut out some of the sex scenes.
I think they did still cut out some, but it's closer to the
director's vision.
Well, yeah. And I think, well, it's funny because the director of tonight's film, he only directed 3 movies. He wrote tonight's movie. He was more of a writer. He wrote a lot of things after this, but he only directed 3 movies. And yeah, I mean, I guess the first American release had some of the continental footage, which I think is about 10 minutes longer than the version we're watching, which came out 3 years after It's Hot in Paradise. And that's when it got the Horrors of Spider Island title. And it was released on a double bill with the Peter Cushing movie entitled, well, the original version, it was also a British movie released in America. So the British version is entitled The Flesh and the Fiends, and it's a Burke and Hare story. But the United States release is entitled The Fiendish Ghouls. So yeah, they're having fun with it. I'd say one thing that I've enjoyed so far is the, obviously the little spider, but even the monster makeup and the brief glimpses that we've got.
Not bad.
No, it really isn't. It does remind me of this guy.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
does.
Yeah.
Something about hair and fangs, and it's all does the trick.
Kind of like an alien werewolf or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm gonna save this actually for after the break. Save this for later. But anyway, we're about to get into our break, and we were talking earlier about the trends in West German cinema post World War II, and we talked about the Krimi films. But they tried to branch out and do, take advantage of other literary characters, famous authors, and things like that. And we've seen last season, we watched an international film that claimed to be a Poe adaptation, The Blancheville Monster, aka Horror. And we were talking then about how international films kind of would be a little fast and loose with their adaptations. I think we saw a trailer for a West German Edgar Allan Poe film with Klaus Kinski that it wasn't actually based on a Poe story. I think Poe is a character in it. So that was a thing during like the period of the Krimi films too, is that you got like movies that were trying to be like the gothic horror films and using Poe as the big name to kind of cash in on. But they also did Arthur Conan Doyle and Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
So those are the trailers we're going to see. The first, and they both have Christopher Lee. The first is for a Sherlock Holmes film that was produced. It was a West Germany UK co-production, and it stars Christopher Lee as Sherlock Holmes, and it's entitled Sherlock Holmes and the Deadly Necklace. It's actually scripted by Kurt Siodmak, who was the guy behind 13 Demon Street. He also wrote The Wolfman. He was the guy that came up with, the writer that came up with The Wolfman.
Okay.
He was a German, like, he and his brother made some films in Germany, immigrated to the United States when World War II started. They both went back to Germany in like the 60s, and Sherlock Holmes and the Deadly Necklace was a Kurt Siodmak written movie that was directed by Terence Fisher, who was the Hammer horror director who directed like Christopher Lee and the Dracula movies. So it's this weird, like that's the way that co-productions are so funny, and like it's a West German co-production that was able to get some really great British talent. And Christopher Lee loved playing Sherlock Holmes. So that's it's a German trailer, so it's it's German. It's great. It's so much fun to listen to. I love, it's funny because I almost feel like there are more similarities to German and English and just the like syllables, like the
Yeah.
amount of syllables. So I can if I'm following it close enough, I can pick up some things, I feel like. But it's so fast and it's so,
Yeah, there's a lot of like shared stuff.
yeah.
Shared grammar and stuff.
That's why, like, I remember when I took Spanish that, you know, they were talking about, that's the weird thing about English is that it's this mix of like romance, but also the, you know, like more harsh, like Germanic. And it's just this weird kind of a blend, but you gotta love it. And so the second trailer we're gonna see is for a later film. It says it's based on Edgar Allan Poe, but it's not really.
One of those.
It's one of those, and it's entitled the Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism, or
okay.
Hold on, I want to get this right. It's the Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism. I didn't think that sounded right, but that's right.
That doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right. But that's it. And it's but actually the trailer that we have for that is the American release trailer, and I think it's under the title Blood Demon. So that's the beauty of these films, that they're you know, West German or they're co-production, but there's an international, is an expectation this is going to have a life outside of our country, and then some American distributor picks it up and puts this crazy title, Blood Demon, and you're like, oh, I'll see Blood Demon in the drive-in.
Man, I've got the worst doctor. Who do you see? Dr. Sadism.
Dr. Sadism. He's a real ball buster. He's a his
like,
methods are a little unorthodox.
You're getting put under, and like they bring the surgeon out. Okay, meet the surgeon. This is Dr. Sadism.
Yes, I'm Dr. Sadism. The scalpel is
all right,
just sharp enough.
Count backwards from 10.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. But yeah, so I mean, you know, this is like, I mean, literally from late 50s to early 70s, you got a lot of genre films out of West Germany. And, you know, there weren't a lot of horror films. And if they were horror, they were like maybe usually also comedy, or you didn't get too many straight horror films. That's why tonight's film is so special. But, you know, you still get some interesting products, because Germany, you know, a little bit of art in what the Germans could produce. So we're gonna see these two trailers for some West German horror films, and then when we come back, we'll get into the exciting conclusion of Horrors of Spider Island. So stick around, we'll be right back.
Hinter den düsteren Mauern eines geheimnisvollen Schlosses erfüllt sich ein jahrtausendealter Fluch. Sherlock Holmes und das Halsband des Todes. Ein erregender Kriminalfilm, freigestaltet nach den Romanfiguren von Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. In einer Jagd ohne Gnade kämpfen verschiedene Gruppen der Londoner Unterwelt um den sagenhaften Grabschatz der Kleopatra.
Warum gehst du nicht von hier fort?
Er ist mein Mann. Ich kann doch nicht einfach davonlaufen.
Ich weiß, aber es gibt eine andere Lösung.
Jenkins. Wer war es? Wer ist es gewesen?
Der Wagen fährt durch diese Straßen. Und wir lassen die ganze Strecke bewachen. Holmes hat mich gewarnt.
Während Scotland Yard noch im Dunkeln tappt, folgt Sherlock Holmes schon einer heißen Spur, die in den Hafen von London führt. Die berüchtigten Matrosenkneipen inspiziert sein Freund Dr. Watson.
Na, mein Goldjunge.
Guten Tag.
Wirst du mir was spendieren, Kleiner?
Ja, wenn du Lust hast, haben wir eine kleine Arbeit für dich.
Springt was aus?
60% für Sie. Eine ganz hübsche Summe. Wenn Sie bedenken, was das Halsband der Kleopatra einbringen wird.
Und denken Sie gefälligst daran, was es mich gekostet hat, Sie aus dem Gefängnis zu holen.
Es hat keinen Sinn, Ellen. Peter kann sich nicht für immer verstecken. Kommen Sie, Inspektor. Hier oben ist eine Geheimtür. Ich habe Sie gewarnt, Holmes. Sie vertreten nicht das Gesetz.
Nur wir.
Ein neues Meisterstück des berühmtesten Detektivs der Welt. Sherlock Holmes und das Halsband des Todes. Die Unterwelt fürchtet seinen Namen. Sherlock Holmes.
Warum glauben Sie, war die Polizei im richtigen Moment am richtigen Ort, Inspektor?
Möchtest du mit meinem kleinen Spielzeug Bekanntschaft machen?
Das Halsband ist abhanden gekommen. Ich kann nicht annehmen, dass ausgerechnet Sie wissen, wo es ist.
Gesucht wird das Halsband des Todes. Wer wird das nächste Opfer sein? Es ist ein Kampf jeder gegen jeden. Aber Dr. Watson kennt keine Furcht.
Warum sagst du uns nichts? Wovor hast du solche Angst?
Wenn du es nicht sagst, können wir dir nicht helfen.
Wie oft habe ich euch gesagt, dass mein Leben in Gefahr ist?
Wenn es Nacht wird im Hafen, kommen die Ratten aus ihren Löchern. Die Unterwelt holt zum letzten großen Schlag aus. Scotland Yard ist schon ausgeschaltet, aber Sherlock Holmes ist auf dem Posten.
Welche Zimmernummer?
Nummer 4.
Die Aufklärung eines sensationellen Kriminalfalles bringt Ihnen der Film Sherlock Holmes und das Halsband des Todes.
Human beings are horribly slaughtered in the dungeon of doom. Grisly sacrifices for a maniac's vengeance. Men without souls whose artificial blood keeps their cruel brains alive. See just how far maniacal mistreatment can go. It's a new bizarre shocker from the master of the macabre, Edgar Allan Poe. With Christopher Lee in his greatest horror role since Dracula. When the dead count's mangled body rises from its coffin, a new siege of the sinister starts.
I needed the blood of 13 women. I found 12. They struggled against death. It was that desire to live.
It's far out, fantastic and frightening. The creeping, crawling terror that haunts those marked for diabolical disaster. Here's the thrills of more than a dozen horror movies all rolled into one. Nobody will ever escape from the blood demon. We dare you to keep watching the screen.
And we are back. So this is trailers for Sherlock Holmes and the Deadly Necklace and the Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism, aka Blood Demon.
We dare you to keep watching the stream.
Yeah, we do, and on Twitch no less, because I won't be on YouTube for a little bit. I don't know. I'll get it. I'll work on it. They denied my appeal. Update. They denied my appeal. So don't worry. I will.
We're gonna take this right to the Supreme Court.
All the way to the top. We're gonna. Well, somebody needs to sort out public domain. I said this in one of my last messages to YouTube, Team YouTube. The last time I had problems, I was like, the more time that goes by, the more important, cultural objects that are going to be entering the public domain. How are you going to handle that? You know?
Yeah.
Once we get into the 30s, the early 30s, the stuff that's that's getting released into the public domain, that'll just be in the next 3 or 4 years. Frankenstein will be in the public domain. I should be able to show it on YouTube. Am I going to get a claim from Universal? Probably. YouTube shouldn't allow that. If it's public domain, I should be able to stream it. It shouldn't be a third-party issue. This is all, we're getting too in the weeds. We have a show to do now, and
We got a movie to
Got a
finish.
movie to finish, and get through the conclusion of the horrors of Spider Island. And,
Yeah, where were we?
Well,
we had a
hope
development.
seemed to be in sight because these assistants of the Doctor returned to the island, and they're going to be able to get help, and they're going to be able to get the models off the island. But Gary is still MIA, presumably monster-fied still.
Yeah,
and,
still gotta. We're down a monster and we're up a monster.
yeah, so we're not quite sure how this is going to shake out yet, but hopefully the girls will make it off. We'll see. Time will tell. Anything else before we get into it, Evan?
I think they gotta watch out for Gary's bite. He's he may be a monster, but he's still so horny.
Well, 100%. He's definitely. They're only showing him shots from the waist up for a reason.
He's gonna bite you.
One thing I will. So I started thinking about this. So Gary has been turned into this man monster, right?
Yeah.
And Gary was bitten by a spider, right?
Right.
So would that make him a spider man?
I think it would make him a were-spider.
This is what I'm conflicted about, because he's got all this hair on him. He's got fangs. So were spider is an appropriate moniker for what Gary currently is.
But if that's what he is, I wish he was more spider-like. He needs more legs or something.
Well, maybe he'll metamorphize. No, let's not get our hopes up. Let's not hope too much of this movie. I'm not trying to lead you in a false direct. That would be great, but we've been talking about our fanfic already tonight. We can't fanfic into this movie.
Right? Yeah, that's the final antagonist, the big showdown in our Lord of the Flies.
Yeah,
the flies gang up and fight the spider.
Right, it's Gary the Spider. Yeah, it's the battle of epic proportions. Not ready for it. We'll see what happens to Gary and the girls and Georgia and the
professor and Mary Ann.
Yeah, that's right. We will find out. All right, well, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of Horrors of Spider Island right now.
Look, isn't this pretty?
The boys will be surprised when they see how we've dressed ourselves up in our island costumes.
Yeah, I'll say.
And they promised us real whiskey kids. I can hardly wait.
Hold this. Shall I put this in my hair?
You look great, just like a real islander.
Real
I
whiskey.
Haven't I been here for 4 weeks?
I can't believe that we'll be back in New York in a couple of days.
I haven't
When
had
we
whiskey
tell them
for
at
4
home what
weeks.
has
I'm
happened to
going
us.
crazy.
Nobody's going to believe us.
Where are George and Ann? Outside on the veranda.
They're out there with Joe trying to make radio contact with the expedition ship.
I wonder if a lot of reporters will be on board when we get there.
Hope so.
Uh-huh.
What's important for me is that Jimmy's there.
Who is Jimmy?
My friend, we're going to be married.
What if he's got eyes for another?
You don't believe that yourself. I'd scratch his eyes out, and he knows it.
Kids, we made radio contact with the ship and we'll be picked up tomorrow. And tonight we'll dance and really raise the roof.
Can you raise the roof if you're outside? What's the purpose of wearing an ascot while you're not wearing a shirt? I just don't. I don't know if I understand that look, that choice. That's a choice. I'm Gary now. I'm the Gary now.
He looks like an assistant trailer park supervisor.
He's a cheeseburger.
Tell me, what kind of a girl is Anne?
Usually quiet and one of the nicest. She's away from home for the first time. Her folks live in Minnesota.
All right.
I've never seen her so relaxed.
She does not look relaxed.
I'd like to dance.
She looks incredibly tense.
Yeah, she does not look relaxed at all.
Yeah, I'd hate to see her on a bed, but she's not relaxed. Then Gary comes out and says, "Can I cut in?"
Party's over.
This is my island.
I want to be all alone with you.
How about the house?
Not in the house. Someplace where we'll be all alone.
You know what? We'll meet at the lagoon.
Okay. But so that no one will notice.
Good. We'll meet in 15 minutes on the trail down to the water. All set?
Of course.
Well, you'll both be gone. They'll notice
Yeah.
that both of you are gone. What's the logical explanation that you're together?
Thanks.
How many guys are there? I thought there were 2. Seems like there's 3.
Shut your mouth. Fallen for her?
How much whiskey was that professor drinking? That they brought him a
That's a very
case as
good
part of his
question.
like supply run.
This is only enough whiskey to last me 2 weeks.
Tell me, are you always so quiet?
You know, when you've lived on islands for a long time, you forget how to say nice things to girls.
We'll try it once.
Well, I'm really glad that your airplane crashed.
Well, that's a nice thing to say.
I mean,
He's got
otherwise I wouldn't
game.
have gotten to know you,
All right.
and I'm glad about that.
Oh, you say that to everybody.
No, Anne. I don't know
You
any
say that
girls.
to all the
You
crap.
say that
When I see the
all.
ones I do, I'd rather work.
Well, I must say, you certainly are a master at paying compliments.
Perhaps you're right. I should pay more attention to young women. Sometimes I envy Bob. He's so uninhibited and carefree.
Bob, any girl is good enough for him. A real man is interested in only one girl.
Then I'm a real man.
How?
Because I'm really interested only in one girl.
Who's that? What does she look like? Cute? Elegant?
Elegant, on the contrary. A little bit disheveled and neglected.
I wouldn't say that.
But,
My God, I
very
thought you
pretty.
said a half.
Well, I did. I think it's
her name's
The
Anne.
water.
Oh, Joe. That's one of the nicest things that's ever been said to me.
Well, I meant it. I'm really fond of you. You know, when you leave for New York, here, so you won't forget me too quickly.
That's
what the
ascot was for.
Please don't let me wait too long.
Come on, I got 12 minutes left.
What's in 12 minutes?
My next rendezvous.
Oh.
I'm on the clock here.
Hello, big boy.
Well, I'll be darned. That's not bad either. Hey, all right. You really don't know where to start here.
Jesus Christ. What is happening?
David Attenborough should be narrating this.
Mating habits of stranded island people. Uh-oh. Gary, you gonna get her? What?
Do you mind?
May I cut in? We're just really straining the plot here in the third act. We're just kind of
Gladys.
bringing everything to a
It
halt.
looks like something cut
What's on your
there.
mind, huh?
Probably.
Nothing. In love?
Mm-hmm.
And you really think that Bobby's the right man for you?
I don't know. I only know one thing. I love him.
I hope he doesn't let you down. I'd be very sorry for you.
Oh my God.
Hello, Daddy-O. How about throwing those lamps on somebody else for a change?
Yeah, baby. Like you swing too.
So the continental version is just him having sex with all these models, I guess. I guess It's
Come on,
Hot in
Gladys,
Paradise
not
makes
worth it.
sense if you just start the
Don't
movie
bother
when
me.
they come to the island.
Hey, Georgia, give me a drink too. Thanks.
Bobby,
Yeah?
do you have to turn all the girls' heads?
Who, me? They turned mine.
Hi, Georgia. Hi. That dance sure made me thirsty.
Georgia, aren't you at all excited about going home soon?
Okay, let's drink to that. Yeah.
Well, here's to the trip.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Do you think people are still talking about us?
Of course. Now all the more, since we found you.
Will the papers print our story?
Oh, baby. Will the papers print your story? The magazines will carry your pictures, and what do you think radio and TV will do with you? You'll be amazed at the reception you get back in New York.
Maybe they'll drive us down Broadway with confetti and all.
In any case, you become a world-famous troupe, and who knows? Maybe you'll wind up in Hollywood.
Oh, Bobby, I might make it yet.
Thank goodness I still have a few minutes left, because my next rendezvous is very important.
And this time, who's the lucky one?
If you won't tell anyone, Gladys.
Bobby, Gladys is a fine girl. Up until now, she's been shy of men. Please, leave her alone.
Exactly.
I don't know enough about Gladys. I want to know more.
Why am I telling you all this anyway?
Which one is Gladys?
So many characters to keep track of.
I don't know. I don't know if they've been like characterized enough. that
They
I know
have,
them
yeah,
by
no,
name.
they have not. Not at all.
They're just names.
Oh, Joe, I'm so happy.
Well, that's what I expected.
Same old story. You're nice to a man, and before you know it, he's getting thrashed.
Anne, I must tell you something right away. Come on.
Hey, Anne. Let her on. They're all good for nothing. They're all the same.
What are you
Come on,
talking
let's have a
about,
drink.
dude? You just been having your run of the lot.
Gladys, it's just as I told you earlier. Well, don't you see that Bob is just the kind of man who wants nothing else than to play around with women without a single serious thought in his head?
You're right. I don't want to see him again.
Gladys.
I feel like we're getting off on a bit of a tangent here.
Yeah, it feels like a totally different movie, doesn't it?
What? It's like a romance.
This
Trouble
seems,
in Paradise kind of thing.
yeah, it's Hot in Paradise makes sense for this movie.
You
Yeah.
haven't fallen for that little broad by any chance. Well, good luck then. And what if I were? Then I'd feel sorry for you. What are dancers? Hot goods for cold nights. Or do you think your Anna's different?
Sounds like an Ed Wood line.
For a guy like you, the worst girl in the world is too good.
What are dancers? Hot girls for cold nights. Ah. I want to punch him in the face.
What is this sandwich? Cold cuts for hot nights.
Come on.
I would have. That's the world I want to live in, where Ed Wood just, instead of writing dirty books, he wrote food porn.
We gotta fight.
We're friends, and this is how we settle our squabbles.
Just gonna wrestle it out. Oh, sheesh.
Brutally wrestle. Oh, yeah. Oh. Smash. Chair didn't even break. It wasn't even a prop chair. It was a real chair. All right, I'll see you
What
guys
are we
later.
even fighting about?
I gotta run. I got a date.
I gotta run.
I gotta bang another one of these models.
They just fought for fun. I love how this is the last 30 minutes of the movie, too. And this is where it diverts.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I said at our last break, it kind of felt like the movie was over, right? Like, okay, they're on the way.
Oh, leave me
Rescue, except it's going to take a few hours, so let's party.
What's the
Now
matter
here's
with
the
you
party.
kids? Have you gone crazy?
We gotta kill
You
some
asked
time
me
before
that?
Gary shows back
No
up.
man in this world, even if he belonged to your best friend, would be safe with you around. Are you talking about Bobby? Who else? But you can keep him. I'm through with him.
I've got news for you. Bobby just made it clear to me that you're the kind of girl that he's been looking for.
Do you mean that, Babs?
If it weren't true, do you think I'd leave him?
Babs!
Babs.
Go to him.
Oh,
He's
Babs.
waiting for you.
You gotta love a Babs. Always true blue.
Yep.
All right, Gary. Come on. Where you been hiding, Gary? Come out.
It has been a while since we've had any monster action.
Mm-hmm. Too long.
Bobby.
Oh, damn. All right. That was a good surprise.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Bobby dead. Better run, Gladys. Fucking run.
That was a scream.
It sounded like Gladys. And Bobby's also gone.
I'll look for them. You get dressed and follow me.
You get dressed and follow me. Yeah, oh, okay. 8 girls. Get your clothes on. He's gonna catch her.
Yeah, he had a much easier time getting up there.
Nice toy.
Try and help Gladys. I'll go back and get the ammunition. Quick.
He forgot to load the gun.
You better run.
Is he gonna come back as a monster?
Bobby.
Probably not. It's just gonna be this guy running around. Doesn't look like much makeup on his face, does it?
Yeah, it didn't affect much else other than his face either.
No, it did not.
Joe!
Georgia. Where's the ammunition?
I don't know. Maybe there.
Quick. Oh, we'll all get it. I found Bob. Dead.
Was he strangled?
Where are the bullets? Oh. It's too late. He's here.
Get him, Georgia. Oh, Harry.
The lighting in this is pretty cool.
It's not bad. She got the hammer? Or no?
Is
What is that?
flare?
Oh. Of course.
Monsters are afraid of fire.
Always.
All right, come on.
Yeah, I'm afraid I don't think this movie's well written enough to bring the hammer back.
No.
Two of you take that path over there. Two go through the bushes.
Prove me wrong,
The rest
movie.
of you come with me. Nobody should go alone. Always go in pairs. Come on.
All right, nice. Making sure we're avoiding some Scooby-Doo shit. Go in pairs. Here she is all alone.
Well, and then that's what happens.
Come on, he's over there.
I'm sorry, what is the plan here? To just chase him with
Just
these flares?
chase him around.
This just looks like one of our 4th of July
Right,
celebrations.
yeah. New Year's, yeah, Roman candle fight. It does.
This is just Harry Potter.
You gonna jump off a cliff?
Maybe we lost him.
What is he running on?
I'm not sure.
Stop. The quicksand starts here.
Quicksand?
That's what he's running on, I
They
guess.
drove him into the quicksand.
Classic. That's how House of Frankenstein ends, basically. A lot of horror movies take the quicksand route. You'd be surprised.
Oh, Joe, you're thinking.
Still going.
Yep, still
Not really
above the
sinking.
ankles. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there he goes.
Better dead. Than continue living.
Is that quicksand?
Yeah, in this world it is. Is that the boat coming in or the boat going out? Coming in. Wait.
It's pirates.
There it is. Wow.
No words.
Nothing. You don't need any words. That was the exciting conclusion of Horrors of Spider Island. What did we think, Evan? That's how I feel about it too. That whole movie, like the whole last third of that movie is.
Yeah, this movie is silly. It's I won't say that I didn't have some fun watching some parts of it,
Right.
But this isn't a very good movie.
Not at all. It's you can see why the good folks over at Mystery Science Theater really dug into it. You know, it's
They did not bring the hammer back.
no, again, story in this entire movie was very light, if at all present half the time. It was not. I mean, yeah, that last 30 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever it was, especially, was just so drawn out and drug out, and it just.
I mean, the whole movie was kind of like that. The interviews went on forever. The what else? Them like in the water, or there was some scene in the water that went on for a while.
Scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. There was a lot, and again, this is the edited version. This is the cut version. Imagine what you thought this had no plot. Imagine 10 more minutes of just no plot. Like, sexy stuff, but it's still not plot. It's just stripping and striptease and nudity. That's, I mean, again, this is that interesting time in the 60s before porn was invented, but when, nudie cuties were already a thing. So it was, they knew that they could push the boundaries with nudity. And that nude swimming scene, it was all from pretty far away, so you couldn't really make anything out, but still crazy that they're doing that in 1960 and then releasing it in the US. But again, that movie goes to show you the level of quality that kind of went into some of those West German films, which is not a lot. And as a result, it kind of like that, the West German film industry up to the early 70s, it declined. And it was basically because the market was oversaturated. They were releasing so many films that weren't really good or of any great quality. And it basically became the goal of this new set of directors to kind of change the, we've already talked about some previous genres in German filmmaking, subgenres or movements. Sorry, that's what it is. Movements in German filmmaking. Well, after all this really ended, these genre films, it developed into this movement called New German Cinema. And that's how you got people like Werner Herzog and Klaus Kinski doing Nosferatu. They collaborated on many films together. So like Klaus Kinski, obviously he came up in these Krimi films, but then the New German Cinema was what made him into a star. And some of the people in tonight's movie went on to appear in New German Cinema films. The actress playing Babs, she's an actress named Barbara Valentin, and she appeared in many films by this director named Rainer Werner Fassbinder, who was he made like, I don't know, 20 to 30 films before his death. Like, he died young, and he was like kind of a controversial figure, but they collaborated on many films together. And she was apparently friends with Freddie Mercury. He lived in her apartment in Munich in the 80s, apparently. So, fun thing there. The actress playing Gladys was actually went on to marry the producer of tonight's film, and they were she acted in a lot of his films, and then they divorced and she moved on to other things. The actress playing Georgia, unfortunately 3 years after tonight's film, she died while she accidentally fell like off of a building.
Oh, Jesus.
Or out of a window. Jeez. And yeah. And so this was one of her final films. She didn't really make too many movies. Gary Alexander Darcy, which I don't know if the monster makeup seemed to change from time to time. There's some question as to whether Alex Darcy always played Gary as the monster, or did they put someone else in the makeup? And I couldn't find any clear answers on that. But he was interesting in that, like, he acted in some Hollywood movies. He was an Egyptian actor who played a lot of suave, debonair foreign characters, and then went in to be in a lot of exploitation films at the end of his career, but with noted directors that we've enjoyed on this show, but that I'm also a fan of. He was in Roger Corman's one of his few studio films, which he made at Fox, called the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which is based on the gangster shootings, the Chicago St. Valentine's. Do you know about that?
Yeah. Thanksgiving and the garbage.
Right. Roger Corman actually directed. Wait, Thanksgiving and the garbage. Come on, Evan. Get out of here. Roger Corman directed that was one of his few studio films, and then he was in a few Russ Meyer films, The 7 Minutes, which is funny. Russ Meyer was a sex a nudie cutie director and then a sexploitation director, and then he worked for Fox also and did a sexploitation film, and then he did a courtroom drama called The 7 Minutes, which Alex Darcy was in. And I actually saw The 7 Minutes a year ago. Loved it. It was really over the top and ridiculous. And the trial portions, he's cutting so fast. He's shot a million different angles, so it's just constantly you're like, this shouldn't be cut like this, but he's trying to do his thing, which is a frenetic, artsy kind of a technique. So it's enjoyable. And then Alex Darcy also worked with Al Adamson in Blood of Dracula's Castle, which is, we've seen that trailer a few times in some of our past episodes and pre-rolls, and that's just a really bad exploitation movie with John Carradine as a butler instead of Dracula. Alex Darcy plays Dracula, and John Carradine plays his butler. Why wouldn't you have John Carradine play Dracula? He already played Dracula many times. Well, I put him as the butler. Al Adamson, what are you going to do? So I don't know. It's interesting that the people in tonight's movie obviously went on to do other things, but this is really, a pretty prime example of international filmmaking at the time. It's just people that were in different stages of their career trying to, kind of make the next thing, and it wasn't really about a good story or a good, great camera work or anything. It was just,
sometimes you just make a movie.
Yeah, just make a movie.
Don't make a good movie.
So that's what we had tonight. So enjoyable. We had fun with it. So that's what the Summer of Schlock is all about.
Definitely fits in.
It really does, right? I'd say comparable to, Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory is much more enjoyable. It's more competently told plot.
Yeah.
But this was still, just as fun. So it was and not a werewolf movie, but the whole him turning into this monster, this fanged monster, that
uranium monster.
Yeah, I guess. They never explained how the uranium was related.
Never explained how that was supposed to work.
Who needs to know?
Who cares?
But yeah, that was Horrors of Spider Island. So next week we're gonna be taking a little bit of a we had a sampling of some aquatic horror. We didn't really get aquatic horror. But next week, we're really getting some true aquatic horror with The Phantom from 10,000 Leagues, which is it's a mid-50s giant monster movie. And we don't get a lot of those in the public domain. So this one should be a lot of fun. It is I believe it's an American International film, and I don't think it's produced by the Cormans, but it's, it's got a very cheesy monster costume. It's very comparable. Again, I modeled the Summer of Schlock Returns off of the inaugural Summer of Schlock, and I tried to kind of mirror the movies.
Yeah.
So this week we had Horrors of Spider Island mirroring Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory. Next week we've got
Beach Girls, right?
Right, we've got Phantom from 10,000 Leagues mirroring Beach Girls and the Monster. That's right. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I
look
want.
of this monster is the same.
Summer of Schlock means like big rubber suit monsters.
This is just what just what you ordered.
This is just what Dr. Sadism ordered.
This is on Dr. Sadism's prescription list through and through. And so we're happy to fill that prescription for you next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So you can catch that here on hopefully we're on Twitch right now, and hopefully it will be on YouTube. But worst case scenario, it will be on Twitch. Of course, we'll be back with our mini-sodes next Wednesday at 9 p.m. and that will just be on Twitch because YouTube issues, copyright.
That's a whole claims. Other thing.
It's different but the same. And so we will just be on Twitch on Wednesdays, so you can catch the third installment of the Phantom Empire next Wednesday at 9 Eastern. And of course, I was going to say, of course, we'll do a Saturday Night Shocker on YouTube, but I don't know. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't think I'll get it resolved by tomorrow, but we'll do a Saturday Night Shocker on Twitch, so you can tune in through Twitch for that. Of course, we'll have another spine-tingling tale for you this Monday, brought to you by Mr. Evan Sink. It's part 2 of the Repair of a Reputation.
They're getting pretty crazy.
Is this a 3-parter?
It's a 3-parter.
Okay.
So
you're gonna get the exciting middle. And so yeah, I hope you're ready for the hairs on your spine to stand on edge. Get all tingly. That's what it's all about. So you can catch that on Monday, and of course all of our Spine Tingling Tales, Saturday Night Shockers, Scream Streams, Minisodes, all of our past ones are over on our YouTube page. We're over there at Scream Stream Live. We're also over on the socials, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Scream Stream Show. If you want to follow me and Evan on the socials, you can find me over on Twitter at Spakenstein, and Mr. Evan Sink is on Twitter and Instagram at Caligari Curse.
Oh, and thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. As always, loyal True Blue fan. We appreciate you tuning in tonight and making the jump over from YouTube to Twitch when things got a little here. We do it for you.
We appreciate it.
We really do. So thank you, Kathy. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Anything else before we sign off tonight, Evan?
You know how you say horror film in German?
Hit me.
Horror film.
That was the most clear fact we've heard all night.
Thanks, Duolingo. Ba-ding!
Until next week. Sweet screams, everybody.
And to all, a good fright.